What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Cowboy One Take, and today this is kind of interesting. I want to come to you and talk about Xbox fans, but just not a regular fan, right? I'm curious how many Xbox fanboys are still around. Now, some people might not call themselves a fanboy. You might say, hey, I'm just a super fan, right? I'm so into the console that I love to debate and talk money and strategy and stuff like that, right? But I want to come to you guys and speak to you about the fanboys. Now, my definition was a gamer who likes a certain product or company to the point where they no longer use logic. Like, you could say something simple like, hey, is Game Pass cannibalizing game sales? And somebody be like, no, they're not. No, they're not. I'm just using that as an example. But are there any extreme fanboys left? Like, my guy Doc Dark was a super fanboy, and he calls himself a PC gamer now. My guy K9 was a super fanboy, TK9, and he calls himself a Nintendo guy now. Frog Boy X was a super fanboy, and then he became a PC guy and got a PlayStation 5 Pro. And like, so there's certain people I know that I personally met that when I came in the community, they were so crazy over Xbox. You couldn't tell them nothing. I mean, they had an answer for everything. And now they're not. Now we're going on up the chain, right? There's people like high level up that like everybody know if you're into like the internet and those people and stuff like that. And now they're like denouncing Xbox. They don't want to have nothing to do with Xbox. And it's just crazy that I'm watching this. And I'm used to the console war since I was little. I remember Nintendo versus Sega, right? Atari versus ColecoVision, if you want to go further, right? And it was always, good, love and war, right? We trash talk, we laugh, we joke, but we still would play the other side games. And as the future kept going, it got into console sales, who sells the most consoles and who got the better first party games. And then you just had these people who are fanboys, right? You might want to call them fanatics, but they are so hardcore and they would bleed blood for these consoles. So it seems like every day there's a new Xbox story that's negative. And I remember last year and the year before that, they had a bunch of negativity. They didn't have that many games that came out. And then they was bouncing back. ABK Deal. Like, I thought conquering the ABK Deal was going to be a great thing for them. It gave them way more studios. And fast forward, this is crazy. Laying off over 9,000 people. Killing a bunch of studios, especially a game like Perfect Dark won't make it. Some of the Forza series. It's almost unbelievable. So I'm just curious. How many Xbox fanboys are left? Who is still out there with their chest saying Xbox is the best, they're the most consumer friendly, Game Pass rivals anything, it doesn't matter what you say, they got the better games. Like, who is still out there with Xbox on their chest? They got the Sheriff Xbox badge walking around like, hey, you stop that, you stop that. Like, I'm just curious because I feel like there's so many reasons to not be an Xbox fan now. Like, unfortunately, it's like Xbox is looking silly every day, right? You have Phil Spencer saying, if you go back to the only 4 games and now it's everything. It's almost like, everything Xbox has said, they went back on their word. Now, I'm not going to act like their strategy isn't something they're trying to do to better their company, right? I feel like they're getting rid of all of these games that wasn't coming yet. They're trimming the fat. They want to get real lean so that they can send a clear picture. This is Xbox. We're on everything. This is Game Pass. They don't want to have all these things in the work that's still costing them money that's not coming out yet. I think they're probably getting rid of some games that they felt this wasn't going to be a needle mover. It wasn't going to be like this big game, and maybe it was costing them too much, and they figured, you know what, let's cut our losses right here. Just say, you know what, we're going to stop right here and let go all these people, cancel that game, instead of, you know, trying to lose more money or actually have a bad press. Like, you see what happened to Sony and Concord. So maybe you don't want another Concord on your hands, so you figure kill it. But a game like Perfect Dark, which I always say is a knockoff of GoldenEye 64, but a game like Perfect Dark you would think would have been popular, but they was having issues with that game anyway. So regardless of all of that, who out there is still a Xbox fanboy? How are you still bleeding green at this point? How are you still saying Xbox is the top console? Xbox is top tier. Xbox is better than PlayStation and Nintendo. I prefer having an Xbox over a PC. Xbox is the way. Like, is Game Pass that powerful that it would make you feel it encompasses everything you need in gaming? I'm just curious. So I just wanted to come to you guys with this simple question. Are there any Xbox fanboys left? You guys let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. And make sure you come see the podcast every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, keeping it real with the Cowboy, because anybody could bring up their own topics. Anybody could be on the panel, and I read all the comments as well. So it's definitely the most interactive podcast you've ever been to. With that being said, and now your mama knows. Oh, man.
I'll make you famous.
Because I'm a cowboy. Oh, man.
And now your mama knows.